Today on the Bradeaux and Will Show, we got Jabari Smith Jr. on the show. We got a lot of fun questions lined up, so definitely stay tuned. You're not going to want to miss this one.
All right, welcome back to the episode of the Bradeaux and Will Show. We got a very special guest in the building today, man. Very, very special guest. I'll quickly shout out myself and the show. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Bias Houston. You can find the show on all streaming platforms, YouTube, of course. Tap in with us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok at Bradeaux and Will. Yeah, that's it. I'll pass off to Brad.
I'll keep it quick too, man. Y'all know where to find me at Bradeaux NBA on Instagram, Twitter. Got your favorite stats, highlights, news, updates, all that stuff. I got you covered. But today, as I said, man, we got the boy Bari in the show today. Auburn legend, third pick in the draft, Mr. Clutch himself. Man, how you doing today?
I'm chilling, man. Chilling. Had some workouts earlier, so chilling right now.
Yeah, we saw you. And speaking of those workouts, we saw you getting some quick runs in with Aaron Miller. You were out there with Tari.
I seen Tari had played in it, and then I had got back in town that day, so I told him I'll pull up to it.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And we wanted to start it off real quick. Talk about your offseason as a whole. We've been seeing you do a bunch of stuff. To start, we saw you doing yoga. Everyone's been talking about, you out in Fayetteville doing your yoga. How long have you been doing that for? And, how does that really benefit you as a hooper?
It really started right after the season ended. I took some time off, and then right when I started get back into it, I started with yoga and lifting. So I was lifting 3 times a week. 3 times a week for almost the whole summer. If I was in Atlanta, I was always going to yoga Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah. And then, we talked about, some things you did this summer. You were able to coach a top 100 camp, and you talked about how that was really, really difficult. So what were some things that you took away from doing that, and what was that like for you?
Man, it was really one of the funnest. They always talk about how players never get to see the coach's side and stuff. So I gained a lot of respect for all coaches of all levels because it's not easy. The reaction time you gotta have, the moving on the fly, the so many different things you gotta worry about and think of. It's crazy. So it was cool to be out there though with some of the top players in the country and all of that. But I would say it was fun. Me and Tari was over there struggling. We ended up making the semifinals, but it was cool. But coaching hard for sure.
That's what's up. We seen the clips on Instagram with the little sound bites and that heavy guy. Y'all are too funny. And you was going against AJ. Those some good runs. It looked like you was going through the motions.
Yeah.
I could tell he's gonna be a good hooper down the line.
Yeah, he's gonna be nice.
Yeah. But outside of that, man, we saw you came out, last season, no tattoos. Now we got the full left arm sleeve. We working on the right arm sleeve, and we got to ask you, man, what's your favorite one that you've gotten so far?
I feel like it's the newest one I got with the jerseys on it. We got my Atlanta Celtics jersey, then my Auburn jersey. Sandy Creek jersey, and then my Auburn jersey at the top. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, that's my favorite. That's probably my favorite one, the most newest one I got. It's still peeling and shit.
What's up? We got a few more coming in before the season?
I think I'm gonna chill out before the season.
There you go.
I ain't gonna make no promises, but I think I'm gonna go in the season just like this.
For sure. That's what's up.
All right, so jumping right into it, man. Summer League, you came out there, and in my opinion, I think that you were on pace to win Summer League MVP if you played the full 4 games. Absolutely dominated the 2 games that you did play. What was your mentality going into those games? What was your takeaways from that? I thought you had a really good quote when you said, you weren't too good for Summer League, and so just what were your whole experience with Summer League this year?
Just going into it, people, coaches and stuff would ask me that I want to play. I'm like, I'm not against it, and then I just had to talk with myself and thinking why wouldn't I play? I feel like I got so much to improve on and so much more to show. So just why not go out there and play a new offense, new coaches, hear new voices, and just go out there and have fun. You know what I'm saying? Cam playing, a man playing. And then coach asked us, did we want to play, me and Tari? And he was just like, yeah, why wouldn't we? It's basketball with refs. You don't usually get that during the summer. So just going into it, we just wanted to build some camaraderie and just try to change the culture a little bit, start it off the right way. And I feel like we did that going to the championship and, just winning the games like we did.
And we wanted to ask you about, Amon and Cam later, but since you mentioned them, we'll move that question up. What were your initial thoughts? You were out there playing with them. You had 2 games with them. Oh, you had one game with and 2 games with Cam. What were your thoughts playing with them? What they can bring to this upcoming Rockets team?
First thought is like they're the most athletic players I've seen probably or played with. Like just not just jumping. Like I'm talking about like just speed, like reactions, like their instincts on defense are just kind of like you can't really teach that. You know what I'm saying? Like you can teach where to be in spots, but just that knack for the ball, it's like that's kind of like a gift, and they both got that. But just how athletic they are, how much they run, and they're just real unselfish. You know what I'm saying? Like they listen, like they're not no issues. They're not worried about their shots. They like really just out there and want to win. So that's what I like most about them. Like they just cool to play with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I'm excited for him to come onto the team next year. It's gonna be a different dynamic having all
Yeah.
those athletic players, joining this previous roster.
Yeah.
But outside of that, outside of that, one more thing on summer league. So this past season, you were extremely clutch. I mean, you had that shot against the Pacers to send the game into overtime, a little turnaround 3, and then of course you had that game at the top of the key against the Pelicans. You dribbled to the right side, hit that shot, and you was like, "Yeah, I'm a bad motherfucker." So we seen you out there, bro. We seen you. You clutch, and then you came out in summer league too. Hit that game winner with like 0.6 seconds. I'm gonna tell you right now, watching that, I didn't think there was enough time for y'all to do anything. But Tari threw that pass. As soon as it hit you, I was like, yeah,
I
Barnes
was
hitting
like,
this.
at first, I told him I wanted to like fake like I was gonna go up, and like he threw it like all the way to the corner, so I can at least like have a shot. But when I seen like how the dude was on the ball, I'm like, nah, he's not gonna be able to throw that. So it was like I just came up, and Coach drew up the play for me to flash right there anyway, so it was perfect. I know I didn't have no time to do nothing else, but you got to catch it, throw it up, something.
Yeah, bro, that turned out perfectly. And then you ran back in depth to KJ. That was a perfect little sequence, bro. That was what's up. We'll kick it to Wilder.
All right, so we talked about your father and the role that he's played in not just your upbringing into the NBA, but just in the NBA itself. You had a really good moment with LeBron earlier this year, where you talked about your father was in his first game and now he's playing against you. That kind of speaks to LeBron's longevity. But what type of role has your father played? To help you get to this moment, praying for this moment, and then. I saw a soundbite of him saying he was going to be locked in with you this summer to help prepare you for the upcoming season. So, what type of role is he playing for you?
Like a mentor, like dad, like friend. We talk about anything. Like we've been together all summer, so it's like we just got back to the basics, got back to what got us here. You know what I'm saying? Like gym, locked doors, no cameras. Like just get back to us. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we just focused on. That's what we've been doing since I was 5. My brother, you know what I'm saying? Like waking up at 6 in the morning before school in 7th grade, like doing all of that, doing it in elementary school just because I wanted to be like my dad, wanted to be like my brother. So like he's had a huge influence on mistakes he's made that I can avoid. Like he just make it a lot easier for me. Like even growing up, I was always living like a pro. Like in high school, it was certain stuff that, high schoolers don't do, like, and he had me doing it, and I wanted to do it. So when I got to the league, it was a shock and a jump, but like I already been living like that all my life. That's what I feel like.
And that's what's up. I got a chance to meet him once at one of the games. Great dude, and you had me laughing when you put up on Brian and told him, yeah, man, you played Brian his first game. That's probably one of the sound bites of the year, but I definitely had to bring that up. But that's what's up with your father in that regimen that you got. And we definitely got to ask you, since we was talking about offseason previously, coming in from your rookie season and now, what aspects of your game would you say you've been working on the most this offseason? And what have you ultimately, been focusing?
I feel like it's just been strength, and with strength, that comes with just being able to put the ball on the floor, being able to take bumps, and like having a move to change directions. Like that's basically playing stronger, playing lower to the ground, being more consistent and efficient. Like I just feel like it wasn't one thing that I just focused on except for like just my body, like getting stronger, and just precise movements, being able to play more physical, take bumps. Because I don't think last year I was just so weak. I was just kind of, I don't know, like you just got to throw your body around a little bit, take bumps a little bit more. So that just comes with playing a lot of 5-on-5, bumping with my dad a little bit, and workouts, and just getting comfortable with putting the ball on the floor, taking bumps, being strong with it, and that improves your ball handling, and that kind of helps you in that regard.
I'll say, you talked about your welcome to the NBA moment being playing against Giannis and him being so physically dominant that first game, but you had him that second time, and I guess I'll give you your props on that. Like I don't think I've seen that many players in the NBA period, let alone in their first couple of games in the NBA, be able to hold their own against Giannis like that. So to your credit, like the strength and condition, if that's, the baseline, and it's only getting better from here. I can only imagine what that's going to be like for you.
For sure.
Yeah. But, keeping moving. One of the guys you were drafted with, you already touched on him a little bit, Tari Eason, the pick 17, summer 2022. Y'all both came into the NBA together, both came to the Houston Rockets. And it was kind of clear from the jump that y'all had a really tight bond. And, kind of two guys who were always together. What is your relationship like with Tari, and what's that dynamic like with him?
We came in together like the day after the draft. We on a plane flying to our new job. You know what I'm saying? So we was always pretty close. It was always like me, him, and TyTy during the summer. Like we was always close, getting in the gym together, doing everything together, going to the mall. Like we got a lot of free time, so we was just always kicking with each other and just chilling. So that kind of grew like as the season went on. So you can imagine how close we are now, going through a whole season with traveling and all of that. So that's my brother. You know what I'm saying? So and we've only gotten closer. We're competitive. Like we talk to each other any type of way, talk trash to each other. Like that's just how we are. We're competitive, but we know like it's gonna bring out the best of us. And we're just excited for the season. We talk all the time about the season and expectations and just how excited we are to just win, because we don't like losing. It might not look like that, but when we do anything,
we know y'all don't.
When we do anything, we always competing and trying to win. So we just want to get back to that.
And quick mention, we're gonna ask about it later, but you brought up, you, Tari, and TyTy being brothers. You guys were all drafted in together. Obviously the Rockets, they've made some changes, brought some guys in, lost a few guys. TyTy, you guys, you came in with him, man. Like, how does that feel, for you to, lose him, a guy you came into the league with, the rest of those guys on the team?
It was kind of different for me. It's probably different for guys like other players on the team who had players traded and stuff like that. But it was kind of weird for me because you spend the whole season with somebody, get so close to him, and then like it's almost like you not necessarily don't see him again, but it's like you really just don't see him around. So it's kind of weird at first, and you just think they're going to a different situation and just hope the best for him, really. But it is kind of weird, but it's just something you got to get used to being in this league, because you know what I'm saying, it's a business, so you just gotta be ready for it.
Definitely, Al P gave that, that exact answer when we asked him previously. It's a business at the end of the day. Y'all will definitely understand that. But I'm gonna go again with another quick question. You had this rookie season. You're coming in third pick in the draft. You were the 8th youngest player in the league. You were 19 the entire season, which is pretty rare, for a rookie. So, you obviously have a lot of ups and downs. You're going to go through some slumps. You're going to have times when you hit that game winner. You know what I'm saying? So what were your thoughts on that team? You had 10 guys, 22 or younger. So it was obviously going to be difficult to win a bunch of games. But, what was your main takeaway, from that rookie season?
My main takeaway is just finding why, finding reasoning. Like with all that losing and so much going on, like you can kind of second guess yourself in different situations, and the game kind of doesn't get fun to you anymore. But you got to find that spark and just remember you're in the best league in the world. Like just find that and know that better's gonna come, change is gonna come, and keep that camaraderie with your teammates, because they're the only ones going through it with you. Like no other fans can feel it, like, but they don't feel it like the players. Like we think like it ain't really it. So just the losing and all of that, like you got to really. That's when you lean on your teammates, talk to them about it, and that's how you just get closer. So I feel like the whole season we was losing and down, but I just feel like we was just so close and like we was just trying to win every game. Like no matter what was going on, like we wanted to win. We just really didn't know how at the time. So just bring people in to help us and just figure it out. And I'm excited about it. But last year was a lot of ups and downs, but I wouldn't change it. You know what I'm saying? I grew so much from that. Like I'll probably talk about that, talk to rookies about it for the rest of my life. Like it's something I wouldn't change for the world.
And I want to comment really quickly before we'll ask this next question. You brought up you guys were extremely close. And that's something that, a bunch of Rockets fans, kind of knew, but a lot of outsiders think, this Rockets team is a mess and there's no camaraderie in the locker room. It's broken. Can you touch on that? Because obviously you guys were extremely close, but what are your thoughts on hearing stuff like that?
You can see that, you know what I'm saying? Like us arguing on the bench, you can see other things, arguments and stuff like that. And it's easy to say that from the outside looking in, but on the inside, it's like everybody wants what's best for each other, but they just know everything's not going as planned right now. It's just tough. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing you could do about it by pouting and just being like that towards nobody. So like we we always in it together, but it's easy to say that from the outside looking in, like all of that, just how we acted on the court, how we respond to each other, like all of that. You can say that, but it was just all out of frustration and just everybody trying to figure it out. So I mean, like disputes like that, stuff happen. Like I don't
Sports.
know, it's just
Literally
sports,
sports.
you know what I'm saying? But it compiles when you're losing every game and stuff not going your way, so it looks way worse. So you know, that stuff we got to control. You know, talking back to coaches and stuff like that. Like that's not what the league is about. So half of that is on the players' part, but you know, it's just basketball. You know what I'm saying? Get competitive, emotions fly. It's just easy to say that from the outside looking in, but I feel like we was pretty close.
Yeah, man. It's just y'all being competitive, bro. That's all it was.
Yeah. So speaking of competitiveness, y'all, I think the Rockets absolutely knocked out the head coach signing this offseason, bringing in head coach Ime Udoka. And that's somebody that a lot of the guys who he's coached formerly, you know, whether it be Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum, those are all-star players who said that's arguably the best coach they've ever had in their entire career.
Mm-hmm.
So now that's now your new head coach. What were your thoughts when you saw that hire? And, you know, what were you know, how do you envision Udoka using you and, you know, just what he's going to bring to the team next season?
I got excited immediately on the hire just off his demeanor and what people say about him, and he was in the finals. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just an accomplishment in itself. So, and seeing the Celtics play their play style, like you can only get excited about that. So just seeing that and him coming in and just how excited he was, you know what I'm saying? Like that kind of uplifted us a lot because coming off last season, coming into this season, you know, like changes are gonna happen. Like it's not a secret. So just going into it, it was real rocky, but you know, he just came excited and just said, play defense, have fun in our look, you know, in our stuff like right when the season. But all of that it was just like play defense, play hard and just play together. You know, that was what he preached the most, play the right way and just as far as you using me, we haven't really talked about it much, but you know, I can tell by the stuff we're working on and stuff, he's gonna be putting me in different situations that I wasn't in last year. So I'm excited about it.
So, you know, next question we have for you is, you know, I was watching a podcast. I think it came out maybe like 2 days ago with KJ Martin, your former teammate, and he was, you know, talking with Paul George about how difficult it is as a young guy to use your voice in a locker room because you don't want to, you know, overstep boundaries and you don't know, you know, when to speak up, when to not speak up, right? Because you know you're young, but
Yeah.
you know you're going to your second season now, and leadership has obviously been one of the things that you were known for in Auburn, and we have Vanessa Richardson on the show, and she talked about you and Tari being some of the most vocal leaders in the summer league roster. So how do you translate that, you know, find that balance as, you know, a young guy, you know, there's a bunch of vets in the team now, but, you know, you're someone who obviously, you know, have the voice to be a leader. How do you balance that and bring it to the table?
You know, it's tough, but on a young team like that, you know what I'm saying, I feel like anybody was open to say anything and put their input, uplift people, but I feel like the main thing about being a leader is you got to back up what you preach. And if you preaching playing hard, you preaching getting on guys for not doing the right things, you gotta be able to take it too when somebody else is coming at you. So being a leader just goes both ways, being able to talk to people and being able to receive it. So I would say not necessarily as hard it was hard for me last season just because we didn't have a lot of old vets, you know what I'm saying, where it would probably be different if people were speaking up and stuff like that. But the leaders on the team, Tate, KPJ, like our other vets, Frank, Bopey, like all of them spoke up. Like it was cool, but nobody else was afraid to speak up or anything. But you can feel kind of intimidated because you don't want to think you don't know enough because you're a rookie or something like that. But I just feel like if you know what you're talking about, people will listen. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like you just got to go both ways.
Definitely. And then also, of course, you got Fred coming in. Really like Fred coming in as a vocal leader. Obviously, won a championship. You know, guys like Dillon Brooks. I've seen you working out with him out in Vegas. You know, Jeff Green, Aaron Holiday, a bunch of guys that they brought in. You know, what are those conversations been like with those guys? You know, what's it going to be like for you? You know, having some vets that you can lean on this upcoming season. Because last year you guys only had minimal vets. You know, Jayshawn Tate, you know, Frank Kaminsky and Boban were the only players over 25. You know, past the deadline. So not a lot of older players. So what's it going to be like for you this upcoming season having those new players?
I'm excited, you know, because growing up, I was always around my dad and old NBA players. So it was like I had vets when I was in like middle school and high school. Like we was always talking basketball and stuff. So I'm used to listening to people older than me and taking gems from them and latching on to them just because that's how I was as a kid. Like being in the gym with Lou Williams and just older players around the city. Like I would want to listen to them. Like that's kind of why wouldn't you? You know what I'm saying? So I was kind of excited about that going into the league, but it was just different because it was just a different situation. But building in, like bringing in vets like Fred and Dillon and Jeff Green and other players who've been in the league multiple years is going to be helpful just because they've seen so much. Those guys have been in finals, like just seeing things that I haven't seen that only a few percentage of the world has seen. You know what I'm saying? So like just knowing how to get there, knowing what it takes, like I'm just excited to just pick that brain and just hear stories about it and just try to get there one day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and there was a viral clip that went out of Jeff Green. He was talking to Aaron Gordon, and
Mm-hmm.
if he's able to teach a seasoned vet like that, I want to say Aaron Gordon's around 27. I already know the impact he's gonna have,
Mm-hmm.
around you guys. You guys have a young core, a really good young seven, and just having a bunch of those players in there, man, I'm excited for y'all to pick their brains.
I'm
That's gonna help
excited,
you a lot.
definitely. Real excited.
Yeah. Yeah, but man, we gotta ask you. On the last episode we had with Alper and Shangoon, he was
Mm-hmm.
talking about the 1v1s. He was saying he was getting some dubs. You and Ty were getting a few. We gotta hear what you think, man. Who was winning those games?
I mean, me and Alfie have played in different scenarios, but when it was me, him, and Tari, and I feel like we were on the block, he was winning most of them. Like on the block, he was winning most of them. But we'll move out to the 3-point line and stuff. Like he probably wasn't talking about that. Like we'll move out to the 3-point line, like, and it was pretty balanced. But it was one day where we played block, elbow, and block, and I won like 3 out of the 4. So I don't know if he gonna vouch for that, but that definitely happened. So. You know what I'm saying? We just competing, you know what I'm saying? And I can see why he said that. He gonna have some days. But I done have my days too though. So
No, he's definitely in his bread and butter on the block. Gotta move out to the perimeter. It's a different story.
Nah, he good out there too though, but
I'm knowing.
You know what I'm saying? It was just I might have the advantage out there a little bit.
For sure.
And then you talked about what you had the advantage on. What are your goals going into next season? I guess both individually and as a team. And what are the biggest areas you think you can kind of bring to the team next season?
Next year, as far as goals, like just be the most consistent everyday guy I can be. Like just going to every game with the same mentality. Don't change from misses. Like just stay the same the whole season and just impact winning. That's my biggest thing. Whether it's average 10 points, whether I average 20, like I just want to affect winning and be on a winning culture and just win in general. So. Whatever comes of that, that's what I want to do. But I definitely want to strive to win like most improved player. Like I feel like I've been working so hard this summer. Like why wouldn't I try to go get that? And I feel like if I had that success, I know our team will have that success. So, like making the playoffs, playing, whatever, like just being in the postseason is just my goal ultimately.
I mean, it's just as a fan, just looking at all the moves that the team has made this offseason and just factoring in the natural progression. Between guys like you and Jalen and Alp, the young guys already on the roster.
Mm-hmm.
I think y'all can for sure make a 10 seed a playing tournament. Like, I think that's a realistic outcome. I like the rest of the team. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, I'll finish off with this, man. We're out of questions, but I think you had a smooth rookie season, man. You had the most double-doubles ever for a teenage forward, that is. And so that's a good accomplishment, man. I'm excited to see what you can do this upcoming season. You're going to build off of that summer league performance. Again, you got the new players coming in, a new coach. Yeah. Man, sky's the limit, bro. Y'all gonna do it next season. So we're gonna see. I think y'all can mess around and make the play-in. It's gonna be tough. Obviously, the West, they got some some good teams out there, but I think y'all got it. But man, as a whole, gotta thank you for pulling up to the show. Really appreciate you. You got anything else you want to add?
I appreciate y'all for having me. You know what I'm saying? It was cool to do this, and I appreciate y'all for having me. I don't got nothing else to say.
For sure. Last thing, you said you're about to start streaming. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'm finna start. I'm finna get my PC soon, and camera, microphone, and stuff, and try to stream a little bit. Not for the money or nothing, but just something to do. You know what I'm saying? I feel like when me and my friends be playing the game, it's funny. So and I feel like I'm pretty good at it. So, just add something to it, something to do. I feel like I'm pretty entertaining, and it'll be fun.
Man, I live on Atlanta. Trust me, all y'all entertaining out there. So I feel you, bro. But hey, man, we definitely appreciate you coming on again.
Yeah,
I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. If y'all still listening, make sure to subscribe. We're trying to hit 2K soon. So we appreciate the love. And y'all tap into the next episode. Appreciate you again, Barry.
for sure.
And yeah, we're going to be back.